All right, what's up, family? Yo, got a good one for you. This is going to be, although we do so many different videos on any and everyday life things, because that's what we want to touch. We want to touch jokers on everyday things. And we do movie reviews every now and then. This is going to be a movie review, but not just a regular movie review. This is going to be one of them next, a really good family movie, a family-oriented movie that you could sit with your family and all watch together and really appreciate it. Matter of fact, Joker started crying.
I ain't the only one. He got tears too.
It's really that good though, right? And what's even more amazing about this movie is based on a true story.
Yes.
And the name of the movie is called Gran Turismo. It's a car racing movie. Now I know the average person will go, I ain't into no car racing movie. Nah, I ain't into that. Nah, trust me. There's a little bit more than just the car racing. It's family-oriented stuff. It's sentimental stuff. And it deals with the car racer himself. The guy, I forgot his name, Jan, something like that. He had a rather long last name. I wouldn't even try to butcher it. Because Jan. You know how to say his last name?
His Jan.
How you say his last name? It's a long name. I apologize. We probably butcher it. But I'll put it up in the comments, whatever. But yeah, based on a true story. But just seeing it on TV, right? I was not interested at first. I was like, it's a car race movie. Maybe I'll get into it, maybe not. But once we started watching it, you know how stuff started coming to you. I said, wait a minute. I remember the real guy in real life. That's what made the movie even more good to me. I said, I remember years ago when I first started seeing that young man on TV quite often. And I was like, man, that's amazing. This young guy's doing his thing. Man, it made you proud to be like, look how amazing this is. Then when someone that looked like us is on as well, you'd be like, oh, this is amazing.
Especially that look just like us.
Yeah, because you realize this young man, young adult, he was given a chance, but most people don't get that chance. He was given a chance to do something that he had a passion for, that he had perseverance for. And as always, I love to give you a word of the day. That's going to be the word of the day, touching with this movie called Gran Turismo. How you say it again? Gran Turismo, right? And what does perseverance mean? It means the persistence in doing something again and again and again, even though you get roadblocks and stuff get in your way, all the difficulties that you got to deal with while trying to achieve success. And that's what he was dealing with.
Yes, and that's where I actually would say that this is a conversation that now and then I have with you. And we form the same conversation, and I know that you actually agree. This is a thing where it shows us that our kids' dream, our children's dream is not our dream.
Oh, wow.
It's not our dream. And it's not in the cards. Like a lot of parents saying, we're going to raise our kids right and we're going to tell them exactly how to do it. But while they're growing up, their mentality, their state of mind is not with us. It's like we think that we're doing good, which we are, because it's called a lot of love. Because
we're trying, the average parent is trying to protect and provide for their kids. But like you said, this is what the parents see. You're going to do what I tell you to do. And from the child's point of view, they're like, but I don't want to do that. I want to do this. I want to follow my dreams. And there's friction. There's a disconnect because he had a passion, the young man, young kid, but his father was like, no, you're going to work this job. I got you this good job where I work, and this is what you're going to do. You're not going to be wasting your time playing video games all the time, because that's all the father looked at. Like, all you're doing is playing video games. But see, he come from a different generation. These video games is going to lead to something way bigger, but the father don't see it. Like you said, they study in a parental mode of, I got to provide and protect, and you're going to do it my way. You're not going to do it. You're going to stop wasting time. And there's friction. That's why if more parents was to do a more better job at trying to hear your child out, try to really hear them out. Now, we know a lot of kids, they want to do this one year, next year, something else, next year, something else. Then they say they want to do this, they want to do that. They're all over the place, most kids. But still, take time to, instead of dictating, no, you're going to do this. Take time to sit and listen with your child. You might be impressed what they really got to bring to the table of what they want to do, and support them to some level, but don't just shut them down, because you'll be surprised. There's been many people have done great things, and if their parents didn't see the vision that they
That's
seen.
their vision. Exactly.
And that's what they was dealing with in this movie, which was amazing.
Exactly, because the thing is that we're afraid our kids don't make wise choices. But how is that? They're not going to make wise choices when they're not trying, and they're not seeing, they're not following with their heart.
Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't work our way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
now
right.
we have lived a different generation than our kids. Is more advanced. So we sometimes as parents,
more AI and all that stuff.
Yeah, we sometimes as parents, we really don't understand the technology and the advance.
And we're looking at the kids like, you're being silly.
Yeah,
you're wasting time.
And they don't know what they want, but you'd be surprised. Remember that movie with the kid, the young kid,
the Bautista. He wanted to, he wanted to do, like I said, the father said, yeah, just like last year, you want to do this, then you want to do that, then you want to do this, then you don't know what you want to do. You need to work in the restaurant with us.
Exactly. But
and it's like, yo, that's not what I want to do.
Exactly. But see, once again, that's what the father wanted him to do because it was what he wanted the child to do.
Right.
But it's not in his cards. It's not in the cards.
But yeah, you're right. Yeah, but I love this movie. It was a really good movie. And like you said, he went from playing video games. He was that good. He worked on cars as well. He even had the picture from when he was a little boy in front of that car. Yes. He always wanted to race cars. That's why it wasn't just playing video games. It was everything about cars. He wanted to follow that passion. And his father was totally against him. But then he said, I'm going to do it anyway. Because it's like, yo, my father ain't supporting nothing I do, man. This is crazy. And he wanted and he needed that support. But he went and did it, and he wound up being successful.
Exactly.
Right? And it was amazing. But then remember, he had that major car accident.
Oh, yeah.
He had that major car accident where he could have died. Unfortunately, someone did pass away in the audience. I've always said that with these car races. Why don't they put better barricades up and stuff like that in case the car, a crazy accident happened, which it happens sometimes. It should be better protection. Like, the car fly off in the air, don't hit the audience.
Exactly. It's in many different ways. Even when I told you about the train station, you hear a lot of news, people getting killed by these train stations, people that are waiting for the train. And they should put barriers so people won't get hurt. And that's what you're saying.
So you talking about the train station, like I told my wife earlier, they got platforms now. And she's right, it should be some type of barriers they could. But I remember when I was a kid, it wasn't even a platform. It was a train on level ground, and people would walk across the tracks to the other side all the time. They go, oh, I'm supposed to be on that side. And they would walk. That was even more crazy. Now it's platforms. But anyway, back to the movie. So he had that major accident. And when he woke up in the hospital, he was so distraught and messed up, he wanted to quit. And his mother kept calling him. Because when he first started doing the car race, his mother gave him all the support. All the support was telling him, yeah, son, you're going to do wonderful. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
That's what us females, we do.
But the father didn't give him the support.
No.
The father thought he was still wasting his time and all that. And I like the guy that was training him, the mechanic, because the guys he used to work for, they crapped on him. It was like, yeah, you ain't nothing but a mechanic. You know, I don't need your advice. Like, see, when you're dealing with arrogant people, you got to get the heck away from them. Exactly. And that's what he did. He got away from him. Then he went with this dude. And now he's working with this dude. Then when he had that major accident, the mother called, but he was so messed up, he didn't answer the phone, but he wanted to. First, the dad called. And he was like, I'm not answering the phone. This guy ain't supporting nothing I do. And this guy giving me a hard time. But you know the love was there. And then the mother called, and he really wanted to answer, but he didn't, because he figured that's probably my dad calling my mother phone. Or that's my mother calling, but then I got to speak to my dad. Well, I don't want to speak to him right now. I'm going through something. Exactly. And I just thought it was so amazing when he first started training the whole group of young cats. He told them, this was me and you got into it. He told them, he said, listen, this is a new program we're doing, and I'm here to show that y'all don't belong here. I'm going to push you more than you ever been pushed before. I'm going to prove to you guys that you don't belong here. You're not ready for this. And they was like, what kind of prep talk is that? He put it like that. Because my wife here, she said, that's messed up. Why are you talking to him like that? And like I explained to my wife, I said, some people need that push like that. It gives them more perseverance. Remember, word of the day, perseverance. It means when dealing, to keep pushing harder, even when you're dealing with difficulty, trying to achieve success. You keep pushing. So the reason he pushed him like that, how my wife didn't like it, because it seemed weird. Even the owner said, what a prep talk that was. Like, wow. But like I explained to my wife, okay, let's do it from a woman's perspective. A woman would have said, hey, we're here for you guys to be your best. And I know you guys could be incredible and you guys could be wonderful, which is great. But that wouldn't put the fire up under them. See, that's why you do need a woman and a man sometimes. See, the man said it to them in a way like, you don't belong here. I'm going to prove you don't belong here. See, it makes them see like, oh, I'm going to prove him wrong. I'm going to prove him wrong. He putting us all down. Now, that make them put a fire up under somebody. Go, all right, I'm going to show you just how good I am. Like Muhammad Ali, I love that statement. Muhammad Ali always said, I'm going to show you just how great I am. I'm going to show you just how great I am. And that's the fire he put up on them, that now they all felt like, I'm going to show you just how great I am.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, that's a good point that you have said. I mean, a man, when it's certain ways, even a female, sometimes you'd be surprised how they actually push anyone that they truly love, pushes them to do something and make them believe that you can't do it. But it's a game that they're actually playing. Mentally, what's it called? Mental psychology.
Yeah, I remember when I first get my CDL license. Well, my class A. I've been having my CDL. I remember I was getting my A. The guy that took us out on the road, from what I heard, the guy that was taking people out on the road, he was a real nice, docile guy. He was like, oh, no, make a left here. Don't worry. Yeah, okay. Take your time. All right. Oh, you got to cut it a little wide there. You got to cut it a little wide. When you're making that turn, you don't want to be on the show. A lot of guys was failing the test. When I went, I had a guy that was like the guy that said, I'm going to show you, you don't belong here. I had a guy like that. He wasn't talking to us. He was yelling at us. When a guy would cut the corner, we driving an 18-wheeler tractor trailer. When a guy would cut the corner and all on the curve, he would be like, what that? You cut, he said, you cut that truck wide. You cut it wide. You understand what I'm telling you? You don't play around. You cut it wide. He was talking to us like that. Now, I know some people will be intimidated by it, but when I was sitting in the back of the truck just listening to those guys and the way he was talking to them, he said, God doggone it, didn't I tell you? Cut it wide. Don't cut it short. You're going to kill somebody. Cut it wide. That's how he was talking. Now, like I said, some people will find that offensive.
Right.
But when I was just sitting there waiting for my turn to go next and he talking like that, I was like, oh, I'm going to make sure I get this right. Like Muhammad Ali said, I'm going to show you just how great I am. And so when it was my turn, I'm going to show you just how. When I got in, I had to cut the turn. I cut it wide. I cut it wide.
See, a person like that would hate to be on his face.
No, I tell you, and even the instructor, he didn't even say the word. I was cutting it wide and all that. He was looking at me the whole time. He's like, And it kind of boasted me up too much because I did such a good job. And then I downshift right and everything. And then he was like, now you see the way Springs is driving? That's how I want the rest of you to drive. That's how y'all supposed to drive. And I don't want to look like he boasts me too much, but that's how that guy teaches. It made me understand. Okay. Someone else, they'd probably be intimidated. But it made me feel like, I'm going to show you just how great I am.
No, but it's good. It's good that you have, as a couple, let's just say we have kids. It's good that you have that type of attitude. And I have my way of being, because the thing is that it's a level. It's a level of understanding. And at the same time, it's like, oh my, I gotta get this right.
Gotta push.
But at the
need
same
some
time,
nurturing. I agree.
Yeah, it's almost like when you get a scratch or whatever, you come and you try to.
Mommy want to kiss it.
No,
Daddy's like, man, wake that up and get up and do it again, boy.
Make it better. Not for you to tap it and be so brutal about it.
Y'all be like, oh. See, real dad be like, boy, you crying? I know you ain't crying. Get up and do it again.
See, that's awesome. But at the end, since you're saying that, at the end, remember. The driver, the young cat, he used to love what I'm hearing Kenny G, right?
Yeah, they was making fun of him about that.
And he wasn't focusing. So how did...
we had to piss him off and let everybody know this way he listens to. He put on the speaker and everybody like...
Kenny G.
He said, man, cut it off, man. He said, are you pissed? Are you pissed off? Well, good. Channel that anger and let's get back in the race. And it worked. It worked. Yeah. So you're right. I like that. But you know what else, like, what makes it a sentimental part of the movie, too? Now when he got better, and the guy took him back right to the spot where that accident happened, he gave him a whole speech of what happened to him. Because he always kept saying, why you quit? I heard how great you was. Mm-hmm. And he told him the story. He said the exact thing happened to him. He had an accident, and someone died, And it messed with him emotionally so much, he quit.
And walked away.
And then he looked at him, he said, now,
yeah.
he said, I wouldn't be able to do it, but you need to. And he said, here's the keys, finish the race. And he finished the race. After he told him that story, now the owner came to them and was like, we're gonna enter the Le Mans race. Now I never heard of this until this movie. I never heard of the Le Mans race. What the hell is that? I was just used to the regular races, like, even though I don't really watch car races.
What you see on TV.
You see it on TV.
Racing.
Yeah, usually you go, oh, they do a couple of laps and they win. I remember, listen, when I used to ride my bike back in the days, I used to go to race parks. I'm telling y'all, some of y'all don't realize, you know how much thousands upon thousands of dollars people spend at the car racing shows? It will blow your mind. I'm telling you, I watched car races while I was with my bikes back in the days. Jokers would blow an engine and get another engine, 50,000, 70,000. Blow that on the race and got another engine. Before the day is over, you find out, man, that sometimes on car races, they spend like $200,000 in a day on car parts and engines and all that. It will blow your mind. And seeing someone race, what do you think? It's the tires, the engine, all that stuff, it'll blow your mind how much money this car racing stuff, it is mind blowing. You could purchase a house.
I don't know how they do it.
It's mind blowing. It blew my mind when I went. I said, I literally watched guys at the start and go, and the Joker engine blow. And the Joker get the car towed, pushed to the side, and they over there working. I'm like, man, this races continue, but Joker over here, the engine blew. They working on his car. And before you know it, depending on how long you're going to be there, because we was there for hours that day. 2 hours later, that same guy back on the court. If he had perseverance, remember the word perseverance. When dealing with difficulty, you keep pushing on to achieve success. I've seen jokers blow their engine and get a new engine and back in the race and whoop tail. And I'm like, yo. And they like, yeah, man, that engine, man, the engine he put in, man, that gonna cost $70,000. What? Like, yo, but jokers spend this kind of money. But anyway, so now the other point I was gonna make. So when I seen car races, I see a couple laps and I think, man, boy, they be doing a lot of laps. But man, I remember when I heard about what is called the Daytona 500. I think the Daytona 500, they do something like 200 laps. See, now the average person be like, man, I ain't gonna be in no damn all day 200 laps. That's crazy. It's another race. It was a Coca-Cola 600. I think they do 400 laps, something like that. They all do different laps. I remember I seen an episode of y'all remember the old comedy show, Malcolm in the Middle? The father told his sons, I'm going to take y'all to the car racing show. Y'all going to see all these big engines and all these racing up. And they was all happy. See, this is what people don't realize. They was all happy. Like, yeah, we're going to go see the car race. Ah! And when they went, as soon as the race started, they got their soda and everything. They all happy. They looking at all the cars. They excited. They're kids. They don't know what they're in for. And when the first lap went, they was like, yeah! Second lap, they was like, yeah! They were so happy. Around the fifth lap, they was like, Dad, how many laps do they do? Remember, these are kids. Yeah. They went from being happy to, how many laps do they do? And the father was like, what are you kids, it's about 100 to 200 laps. They was like, oh, come on, we gotta be here all day. Come on. Because remember, most kids got short attention spans.
Yeah.
They don't realize how many laps. But, back to the movie, the Le Mans is a 24-hour race. They call it the most severe race between man and machine together, racing for 24 hours. I had no clue. Who the hell does that? But like he said, you got to have, he had to get other racers to be on their team. So you race for hours, they race for hours, you get rest, they get rest, you race again, and then the winner, the main guy come back in the end. You racing for 24 hours, like they say. The ultimate car racing for man and machine together. You got to have extreme endurance and have perseverance. Remember, when dealing with difficulty to achieve success, perseverance, you keep pushing on. You're dealing with fatigue. You're dealing with tired. You're dealing with the flat tire. You're dealing with this accident, that accident. You're dealing with sometimes even you see fatalities, unfortunately. And you still got to push on, perseverance. But going through all of that, it was cool. Now he was in the name of the movie, Gran Turismo. Now he was really in it. He got better. That's the part. Like when the owner said to him, "We're gonna shock the world." He said, "We're gonna enter the Le Mans, the big race." And he was like, "Whoa!" They thought, "Man, that's crazy. We ain't ready for that." He just got into this and this happened.
Yeah.
And then when the mechanic gave him that whole story about what happened to me, he said, look, I wasn't ready for the Le Mans. He said, but I know you are. Are you ready for something like that? And I love his answer when he said to me, he said, he waited for a while, but then he said, let's be immortal. Like, yeah, let's do it. And sure enough, when they did the race, just before they did the race, all the way overseas, his father showed up.
Yes.
Now that was good. This Joe was crying.
You're in my bed. You had tears too. It's very emotional.
That was cool. I love it.
It goes back. It's so important. It's so important as parents that we really need to have a really good conversation with our kids, because we need to know exactly where they standing at, physically and literally.
Yeah, because when the father showed up,
have a bond,
he didn't know he showed up. He surprised him.
Yeah.
And when he walked in the door, he looked, you could tell, man, that's all I needed. I needed to see my dad. My mom giving me all the support I need. And I know my dad loved me, but my dad think I'm on some bull crapping crap. But I'm doing something, I'm following my passion. I have a lot of perseverance for this. And when his father approached him, his father started crying.
Yeah, because his father was not in his level.
And he said it.
Yes.
That's what made it very important. The father said, before he even touched him, first they hugged, and then the father backed up and he told him, he said, you know, I didn't support you the way I supposed to. And he started crying. He said, I'm sorry.
Kids need to hear that, because for the simple fact that we're always pushing our kids to be the best. Okay, I understand that. But you have to also understand, or parents out there, they have to understand that kids have a life and they will be on their own, and they need to follow that passion and need to make right choices. But us reinforcing our life,
you gotta do it my way.
They're going to wind up probably not being nothing at all, because they're so confused and so
that communication is key. You gotta talk. You gotta hear them out. Hear your kids out. Even go down the rabbit hole with them, so to speak. Let's see. Maybe it's something. Maybe it will evolve to something. But you can't just shut them down and say, that's stupid what you're talking about. Hear them out. Hear her out. Check them out. Go with them. Follow through with them. And see how it goes. It may be something wonderful. As a parent, you may learn something. Your kid may learn something just as well. But like back to what he said, I love that when he hugged him and then he backed up and he said, no, I didn't support you. I just got to tell you, I didn't support you the way I was supposed to. And I'm ashamed of that. And then he's like, son, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud. He started crying, and his son started crying, and then he was hugging. And then I looked over at this joke, and then she was crying. I was like, look at this joke, man.
No, because at the same time, he just took that as like, you just always in the game of racing cars. But he didn't realize, the father didn't realize that behind that racing simple game,
I went from a video game to real life.
There was a passion in him.
Exactly. And he wound up being the youngest, I think the youngest guy ever to run that race and win. Because they was like, long as you finish the race. And he said, nah. Remember, he said, let's be immortal. He was like, nah, I'm going to do more than just finish the race. And he won it. That was amazing. They always shocked, like, yo, this guy made history. Like,
so for all the parents, for all the people that actually is watching this video, I tell you, this movie is a 5-star. Go watch it. It's a family movie. Maybe you can learn from it. Just like what made us think differently, like, wow.
Yeah, because
I remember growing up, my parents meant good for me. I know that, but they didn't have dreams.
There you go.
I probably have dreams, but I follow everything that my parents were doing.
Exactly. They never heard you out with your dreams.
Even with religion. I follow
inspire your dreams.
Yeah, but when I got bigger, I seen things differently.
But that's why you motivated your daughters.
Motivated, yes. And I told my daughters, when our daughters were growing up.
You see, she corrected herself, said our daughters. See, y'all know what we talking about, parents. Whenever they doing good stuff, they're her kids. But whenever they screwing up, they're my kids. You see what I'm saying? Let's be the nonsense. Let's be the nonsense.
Let me rewind that. Our girls, I used to take them to church and all that. I used to take them to church and all that, but their state of mind wasn't there. And I wanted to just give them what it meant in reality, the best. But when I say when they get older, they can choose whatever, because it's not in my cards for them to just follow whatever I know, what I want.
Yeah.
So that's all it was.
Great movie, great family movie. A lot of key points in there. I love it when they show the mother, the father, the brother, and everything together. It's wonderful, family oriented. That guy's still doing his thing to this day, man. It's a wonderful thing seeing inspiration in someone that inspire others. And on that note, hey, check out the movie. You'll love it. Check it out with your family. You'll really love it. Anything?
Yes, no. I said it all. 5-star for the movie. Go watch it.
Yep. Peace.